Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTV Test here. I'm a material reviewer and professional calibrator. This video is going to be my hot take on a topic that has happened about 3 weeks ago. Always late to any party, that's really the story of my life. But 3 weeks ago, Samsung revealed that it will stop making 4K Blu-ray players and also just regular 1080p Blu-ray players. And then certain sections of the media and also the public started proclaiming that the sky is falling. This is going to be the end of physical media as we know it. Blu-ray production will stop and things like that. Well, I think there's a certain truth in that. If you look far enough, maybe say 100 years from now, I don't think physical media will exist anymore. I think it will all be replaced by online streaming, OTT delivery and other avenues that doesn't really involve actually holding a disc in your hand. But that is inevitable. That's just like saying that, Sean Bean will inevitably die in every movie that he stars in. So that is just an inevitable fact. When Samsung made this decision to actually stop making Blu-ray players, I think they're not really looking that far ahead. It's just that, the Blu-ray division hasn't really been that successful over the past couple of years for a few reasons, really. If you look at, Samsung's 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray history, obviously they came out with the first 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player in the form of the K8500. And then they followed it up with the M9500 and maybe other step-down models in 2017. But they didn't really release any new 4K Blu-ray players for 2018. And then suddenly in 2019, the news came out that they have stopped making Blu-ray players. I think, the writing was already on the wall. And when you consider that even back in 2017, Samsung was probably the first Blu-ray manufacturer to really stop 3D playback support on their M9500 and also maybe the M8500 series. Because most TVs on the market don't support 3D, then Samsung stopped putting 3D support on their 4K Blu-ray players in 2017. But I think that probably reduced the appeal of their players because there are still many other users out there who own 3D discs and who own 3D televisions and also maybe 3D capable projectors who want a Blu-ray player that can actually support and display 3D movies. So by cutting away 3D support, Samsung really limited the appeal and the market for their 4K Blu-ray players. And another big negative against buying a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player is definitely the lack of Dolby Vision support. Now, regardless of how you want to actually argue about whether HDR10 Plus or Dolby Vision is more successful or whether HDR10 mandatory static metadata format is sufficient, the fact is that when someone out there tries to spend money on physical medium, when they try to buy a 4K Blu-ray player to enjoy both video and audio to the highest fidelity, they would want the widest possible compatibility for all the discs that they own across all formats. And you can understand from Samsung's point of view because their TVs, even in 2019, they don't support Dolby Vision. So if they started adding Dolby Vision support on their players, it wouldn't be consistent with their overall business marketing strategy. But still, that meant that, the appeal of Samsung 4K Blu-ray players really dwindled down to a minimum. I think if you are actually in the market for a high-end Blu-ray player or even a mid-range 4K Blu-ray player from 2017 and 2018 onwards, I barely know anyone who actually goes out and actually buy a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player separately. When someone owns a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player, especially when I visit them to actually calibrate their Samsung QLEDs, it's almost always because the player was bundled with the Samsung television or available to buy at a severely discounted price. I know of almost no one who actually went out and just bought a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player as a standalone unit from 2017 onwards, and that's because of the lack of 3D and also the lack of Dolby Vision support. Another picture quality aspect that negatively impacts Samsung's Blu-ray players, not only 4K Blu-ray players, but also their Blu-ray players from the beginning, is the undefeatable noise reduction on the chroma channels. If you look at this scene from The Force Awakens, where Kylo Ren and Han Solo are facing off with each other on a bridge, the red glow, when they move their faces around, you can see a sort of ghosting and smearing artifact. It is caused by this undefeatable noise reduction on the chroma channels performed in the back door by Samsung's 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player. But yes, the picture quality of the Samsung 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray players has never been, as good as, let's say, the Sonys and the Panasonics and the Oppos. And when you add the lack of 3D support and the lack of Dolby Vision support to the equation, you can see that they don't really sell very well, which is why I don't really blame them for quitting the market, really, because the writing was already on the wall. 2017 was the last year that Samsung released the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player lineup, and there was none for 2018. So I think the writing was on the wall for Samsung's Blu-ray division, but not for physical media, not for 4K Blu-ray. I think physical media is going to be hanging around for some time. It will become a niche market, but it will still be there. It will still appeal to video enthusiasts like some of you who value the highest level of video and audio fidelity for your movie content. Obviously, the streaming is much more convenient and there are no adverts, and the price is really, really low compared with the investment you have to make to buy 4K Blu-ray discs. Look at the number of discs that I have actually lying here. Some of them are really utter wank, and some of them I haven't even actually opened up to watch yet, and some of them I accidentally bought twice. But seriously, I think physical media will still have its appeal, will still have its market, albeit maybe even in a more niche kind of a segment. And that's entirely fine. I think streaming and physical media can coexist. I think with streaming, obviously it is cheaper and it is more convenient, but you don't get the lossless codec. You have to depend on a really high broadband bandwidth to get the highest fidelity, and even the highest fidelity that is possible on, let's say, Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or even iTunes movies, they cannot come close to the bitrate that the Blu-ray disc medium is capable of. And sometimes it's just good to actually hold something in your hand. So maybe 100 years from now, there won't be physical media anymore. It will all be replaced by streaming and OTT delivery. But the day is not here yet. I think, to paraphrase Russell Crowe in Gladiator, damn, that's another 4K Blu-ray that I need to buy. But to paraphrase him, not yet, not yet. If you found this video useful, please click the like button and subscribe to the HDTV Test YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.